The lanterns of Crimson City glowed like falling stars that night. The air was heavy with incense and wine, laughter spilling out from the taverns and courtyards. The martial tournament had ended, and warriors from every sect filled the streets. Music rose with the sound of flutes, and firecrackers lit the sky. I should not have been there. An Omega like me, weak, fragile, hidden by nature, had no place in a city ruled by alphas. My sect always warned me to stay away. But I had slipped away under a plain robe, carrying only my pouch of herbs. The city felt alive, and I wanted, just once, to breathe freely. I walked down the street, eyes lowered, careful not to draw attention. But fate is cruel. He appeared. The Crimson Prince. I had seen him only once before, from afar. In the arena, standing proud with his long crimson robes flowing behind him, a sword at his hip that glowed faintly under the moonlight. His presence had been like fire, burning, commanding, dangerous. An alpha through and through. And now, he stood right before me. His hair was dark as night, tied with a jade clasp. His golden eyes scanned the crowd, sharp as a blade, until they stopped on me. My breath caught. My body froze and I clutched my pouch tightly. He stepped closer. "You," his voice was low, deep, carrying the weight of command. "Why do you lower your gaze? Look at me." I trembled. My instincts screamed to bow, to submit, but I raised my head slowly. His eyes narrowed, as if he sensed something in me, something I fought so hard to hide. "You're an Omega," he murmured, so soft that only I could hear. Blood rushed to my cheeks. I wanted to deny it, but my scent betrayed me. I had taken suppressants, but under his piercing gaze, it felt as though every barrier melted. "No, Your Highness, you must be mistaken," I whispered. He leaned closer, his breath warm against my ear. "Do not lie to me." My heart pounded. The noise of the festival faded, only his presence filled the world. And then, before I could slip away, he caught my wrist. His grip was firm but not cruel. "Come with me." I should have run. I should have resisted. But my legs moved without thought, pulled by his alpha aura, by something deeper, something that made my body ache with heat. He led me through narrow alleys, away from the music and lights, until we reached a quiet courtyard. The moon shone above us, silver against the tiled roofs. The air was still. He released me, but my wrist still burned from his touch. "Why are you here?" he asked, his gaze unrelenting. "I came for herbs," I lied, clutching my pouch. His lips curved, a shadow of a smile. "Herbs in the middle of the festival night?" I swallowed hard. He was right. I had no excuse. He stepped closer and I stepped back until my back touched the wall. His hand came up, resting beside my head, caging me in. His scent washed over me, spiced cedar and steel, sharp yet intoxicating. My knees weakened. "You're trembling," he said, his voice low, husky now. "I should go," I whispered, but my voice broke. His hand tilted my chin up, forcing me to meet his golden eyes. "You can't. Not now." The bond between Alpha and Omega, it was a dangerous thread, one I had tried to escape my whole life. But standing there, pressed against the wall with his eyes burning into mine, I felt the thread tighten. My body betrayed me, heat pooled in my veins, my scent grew sweeter, my lips parted without thought. And then he kissed me. It was not gentle. It was fierce, claiming, like fire consuming dry wood. I gasped, but his lips pressed harder, stealing every breath. His tongue slid against mine, demanding, and I felt myself melting under him. "Your Highness," I tried to speak, but his mouth swallowed my words. His hands slid down to my waist, pulling me flush against him. The hardness of his body made me shiver. "You feel it too," he murmured against my lips. I shook my head weakly. "We can't." But my protest dissolved when his hand traced the curve of my neck, his thumb brushing the sensitive gland where an alpha's mark belonged. My whole body jolted, a soft whimper escaping my throat. His eyes darkened. So responsive, little Omega. Heat surged through me, shame and desire tangled until I could not tell them apart. I wanted to resist, but my body leaned into him, craving more. His scent wrapped around me, dizzying, making my core ache. He pressed me harder against the wall, his lips moving down my jaw, my throat. Every touch burned, every kiss drew out soft sounds I could not control. My hands clutched his robes, half to push him away, half to pull him closer. "Your Highness, if someone sees." "No one will," he growled softly, lips brushing my skin. "Tonight, you are mine." My heart thudded painfully. I should have run, but instead I let him hold me, let him kiss me until my lips were swollen, until the world disappeared. His hands slid under my robe, fingers brushing my bare skin. I gasped, arching against his touch. It was too much, yet not enough. My body burned, begging, betraying me with every tremble. "Say it," he whispered, his breath hot against my ear. "Say you want me." My lips parted, words caught between fear and need. "I want you." That was all it took. He claimed me under the moonlit sky, in that hidden courtyard, where only the stars bore witness. Every kiss, every touch was fire, every thrust a storm that tore me apart and put me back together. My cries echoed softly, muffled against his chest, while his low growls rumbled in my ear. I was lost, lost in him, in his scent, in the bond that pulled us tighter with every breath. When it was over, I lay in his arms, trembling, my robe half fallen, my body marked with his kisses. His hand stroked my hair, almost tenderly. "You belong to me now," he said, voice rough but sure. Tears pricked my eyes. I wanted to believe him, but I knew better. He was the Crimson Prince, heir to the throne. I was just a nameless Omega healer. So, when dawn touched the sky, I slipped away. I left behind nothing but the memory of that night, and the secret life already growing inside me. 7 years had passed since that night under the moon. 7 long years since I slipped away from Crimson City, carrying the prince's child in my belly. The boy grew strong and clever, far too clever for my peace of mind. His name was Liang. His eyes were bright gold, just like his father's, though I never dared speak that truth aloud. He asked about his father often, and I always told him the same lie, that his father was a wandering swordsman who vanished into the clouds. But I knew one day fate would catch up to us. That day came during the Lantern Festival. We lived in a quiet mountain village, far from the sects and kingdoms. The villagers treated me kindly because I healed their wounds and cured their sicknesses. But Liang, he was restless. He wanted to see the world beyond the mountains. "Mother," he said that morning, tugging my sleeve with his small hand, "please, let me go to the city. Just once. Everyone is going for the festival. I promise I'll stay close." His golden eyes pleaded with me. Eyes that betrayed his bloodline. I sighed, brushing his hair back. "Just for a short while. And you stay beside me, do you understand?" He grinned, and my heart softened. I could deny him nothing. The Crimson City had not changed. Lanterns still filled the skies, music echoed through the streets, and the air smelled of roasted chestnuts and sweet rice wine. Liang's small hand clutched mine tightly as he pulled me from stall to stall, his laughter ringing clear. For a moment, I almost forgot my fear. But fate is cruel. As I bought him a candied fruit stick, Liang's grip slipped from mine. By the time I turned, he had darted into the crowd, chasing after a paper kite. "Liang!" I called, my heart lurching. Panic clawed at me as I pushed through the sea of people. And then I saw him. Liang stood in the middle of the road, clutching his kite, staring up at a man dressed in flowing crimson robes. My breath caught. The prince. He was taller than I remembered, broader, his aura sharper, more commanding. His sword hung at his side, his long hair tied with gold this time, not jade. His eyes, those golden eyes, fell on the boy before him. I froze. Liang tilted his head curiously. And then, before I could reach him, he spoke the word I had prayed he would never say. "Father!" The crowd went silent. The guards stiffened. The prince's eyes widened, but only for a moment before his expression hardened. I rushed forward, grabbing Liang's hand, bowing low. "Forgive him, Your Highness. He is just a child, he knows not what he says." My voice trembled. But the prince's gaze did not leave the boy. What is your name? He asked, his tone commanding. Liang puffed his chest proudly. My name is Liang. Mother says my father was a swordsman who disappeared. But, you look like me. And I can feel it. His innocent words struck like arrows. The prince's jaw tightened. His hand reached out, brushing Liang's hair, and in that single touch, I saw it, the bond of blood, undeniable. He is mine, the prince said, voice low, dangerous, leaving no room for argument. Fear coiled in my chest. I bowed lower, pulling Liang behind me. No, your highness. Please, I beg you, let us go. He is only a child. Do not dare hide him from me, the prince growled, his alpha aura rolling over me like thunder. The crowd gasped, but none dared speak. His golden eyes locked on mine. 7 years ago. Under the moon. Do you think I would forget? Heat flooded my face. My body remembered. The fire of his touch, the mark of that night. My lips trembled, but I had no words. Liang looked between us, confused. Mother? What does he mean? I could not answer. The prince straightened, his crimson robes flowing like flame. You will come with me. Both of you. I shook my head, desperation clawing through me. No. The palace is no place for us. He will not survive the politics, the poison of the court. The prince stepped forward, towering over me, his scent strong and intoxicating. He is my heir. Do you expect me to abandon my blood? His voice dropped, softer now, but no less fierce. Do you expect me to abandon you? My heart stuttered. I had dreamed of hearing those words, but not like this, not in front of everyone. Liang clutched my sleeve. Mother, I want to go. He feels like home. Tears stung my eyes. How could I fight fate itself? The prince extended his hand. For a moment, I saw not the heir to the crimson throne, but the man who had held me that night, who had whispered against my skin. My fingers trembled as I placed my hand in his. His grip was warm, unyielding. Good, he murmured, his eyes softer now, but still burning. You will not leave me again. The guards surrounded us, and the crowd parted in silence as he led us through the streets, Liang skipping happily by his side. My heart pounded, torn between fear and a dangerous, forbidden hope. That night, we were given chambers in the palace. Liang fell asleep quickly, curled against a pile of silk cushions, his kite clutched to his chest. I sat by his side, brushing his hair, my heart heavy. And then the door slid open. The prince entered, his robe changed, his sword set aside. His presence filled the room, and I felt my body tense. He stood in silence, staring at me until finally he spoke. Why did you run? I lowered my gaze. Because I am no one. I am not worthy of you. In a few strides he was before me. His hand tilted my chin up, just as it had years ago. You were worthy enough to share my bed. Worthy enough to carry my son. And you are worthy enough to stand by my side. My lips parted but no sound came. His scent enveloped me, stirring memories I tried to bury. I searched for you, he confessed, voice low, almost pained. For 7 years. Do you know what it did to me, not knowing where you were? Not knowing my child existed. Tears slipped down my cheeks. I thought it would be easier if you never knew. His thumb brushed my tears away. Foolish Omega. His voice softened. Do you not understand? You are mine. Before I could speak, his lips claimed mine again. The same fire, the same hunger, but deeper now, edged with years of longing. I gasped against his mouth, but his arms wrapped around me, pulling me close, his scent overwhelming, intoxicating. My body melted, betraying me once more. His kiss deepened, his tongue sliding against mine, his hand pressing against the small of my back. I whimpered, the sound swallowed by his mouth. My knees weakened, and he lifted me effortlessly, carrying me to the bed. Your Highness, I whispered, breaking the kiss, breathless. Liang is here. He sleeps, the prince growled softly, pressing his forehead to mine. And I cannot wait any longer. My heart pounded. I should have resisted. But the bond was too strong, his touch too consuming. My hands clutched his robe as his lips moved down my neck, teeth grazing the gland that throbbed with want. I moaned softly, arching into him. His growl rumbled low in his chest, vibrating through me. Do you feel it? The bond we left unfinished. Yes, I gasped, trembling. His lips curved against my skin. Then let me finish it. And as the moon rose high over the Crimson Palace, I surrendered once more to the man who owned both my body and my heart, our child sleeping peacefully only a few steps away, unaware that destiny had already tied us together. The Crimson Palace was a gilded cage. The first night I returned, I could not sleep. Liang snored softly on the cushions beside me, clutching his paper kite, but my heart raced with unease. The walls were too tall, the guards too many. I felt like a bird caught in a snare, wings clipped by fate. And yet, every time I thought of the prince, of his golden eyes watching me, my chest tightened with something I dared not name. At dawn, the drums sounded. Servants bustled in, bowing low, bringing robes of silk for me and Liang. I had never worn such clothes before. The fabric was soft as water, dyed in colors I had no right to touch. Mother, Liang whispered, twirling in his little crimson robe. Do I look like him? I swallowed, brushing his hair. Yes, my heart. Too much like him. He grinned. Good. Later, we were summoned to the Hall of Jade. My legs trembled as I followed the servants, Liang skipping happily at my side. The hall was vast, pillars carved with dragons, the throne raised high upon a dais. The prince sat upon it, dressed in flowing robes, a crown upon his head, his sword gleaming at his side. My breath caught. He was every inch the ruler, not the man who had kissed me in the shadows. Bring them forward, his voice commanded. We knelt. My forehead touched the cold floor. Liang, restless, only bowed shallowly before peeking up at his father. The prince's lips twitched slightly, as if fighting a smile. Then came the courtiers. Your Highness, one of the ministers spoke, his voice smooth but sharp. Who is this Omega that you bring into the sacred hall? And the boy, whose bastard child is he? Rage flared in me, but before I could speak, the prince's aura thundered across the hall. Watch your tongue. The minister paled but pressed on. Forgive me, but the court must know. The succession is delicate. If this child is to be named heir, we must be certain. Whispers spread like wildfire. Bastard. Omega. Unworthy. Liang shrank against me, his small hand gripping mine. My heart ached. Then, the prince rose from his throne. His robe swept across the floor like fire as he descended the steps. The hall grew silent. He stopped before us, his golden eyes burning. Slowly, he lifted Liang into his arms. Gasps echoed through the hall. This child, he said, voice ringing like steel, is mine. Blood of my blood. Heir to my throne. The hall erupted in chaos. Some shouted in protest, others bowed hastily. I could only stare, trembling. He had declared it before all. Then his gaze shifted to me. His hand reached down, pulling me to my feet. And this Omega is under my protection. Speak ill of him, and you speak ill of me. His grip on my hand was firm, possessive, leaving no doubt. My heart pounded. I should have felt safe, but instead I felt the weight of 1,000 eyes. The palace was not kind, and court whispers were sharper than swords. That evening, I sat alone in our chambers, staring at the lantern light. Liang slept peacefully once more. But I could not calm my heart. The door slid open. He entered, his robes changed to simpler black, his hair loose around his shoulders. He looked less like a prince, more like the man who had held me once in the shadows. You fear them, he said quietly, stepping closer. Yes, I whispered. They hate me. They see me as dirt. And they will hate Liang too. They dare not. His voice hardened. I will crush anyone who dares. I shook my head. You cannot protect us from poison in tea, from daggers in the dark. You cannot fight every shadow. He stopped in front of me, tilting my chin up. His golden eyes softened. Then let me give you my strength. Let me give you my mark. My breath caught. The alpha mark, once given, it could not be undone. It would bind me to him forever. You don't understand, I whispered, tears stinging my eyes. If you bind me, I will lose myself. I will no longer be just me. I will belong to you. He leaned close, his lips brushing my ear. You already do. My body shivered. His scent wrapped around me, heady, intoxicating. My instincts screamed to submit, to surrender, to feel the bond that had burned between us for years. Do you want me to stop? He asked, his lips grazing my neck. I opened my mouth, but no sound came. My body leaned into him, betraying me. His low growl vibrated through me. Then I won't. His lips crashed against mine, hot and demanding. I gasped, clutching his robe, as his hands pulled me against him. The kiss deepened, tongues tangling, his teeth nipping my lower lip. Heat flooded my veins, my core aching, my legs weak. He swept me into his arms, laying me down on the silk bed. His robe slid from his shoulders, revealing the strength of his body, the scars of countless battles. My breath hitched. He was beautiful, deadly, yet mine. 7 years I starved for you, he murmured, kissing down my throat. 7 years of nights haunted by your scent, your touch. Do you think I will let you go again? I whimpered as his lips found my gland, sucking lightly, making sparks shoot through my body. My fingers tangled in his hair, pulling him closer, torn between fear and desire. Say it, he growled against my skin. Say you're mine. My voice trembled. I am yours. His teeth grazed the gland, and I cried out, my body arching. His hands roamed my skin, his scent overwhelming. Each kiss, each touch was fire, consuming me until I could no longer think. Then let me claim you, he whispered, his eyes glowing with hunger. And I let him. That night, in the Crimson Palace, I gave in completely. His mark burned into my neck, sealing our bond. Every kiss was deeper, every thrust fiercer, until I could no longer tell where he ended and I began. I was his. Entirely, utterly his. When dawn broke, I lay against his chest, my body sore, my heart raw. His arm wrapped around me possessively, his lips brushing my hair. You are mine now, he murmured. No court, no sect, no enemy can take you from me. I closed my eyes, knowing the struggle had only begun. The palace would never accept me easily. Shadows lurked in every corner. But as his warmth surrounded me, I dared to believe. Maybe love could survive even here, even under the red moon. The courtyard was quiet after the storm of steel and fire. Lanterns swayed weakly in the wind, their flames nearly snuffed out. I stood there, chest heaving, clutching my son close to me. His small arms circled my neck, his face buried in my shoulder. Behind me, the prince, his father, stood tall, his sword dripping with the blood of the men who had come to take us. The night air smelled of iron and smoke. My heart still pounded, my body weak from fear and the heat of his nearness. Are you hurt? His voice was deep, rough, like gravel dragged across stone. He sheathed his sword and stepped toward me. I shook my head quickly, though my knees trembled. We're safe. My eyes fell on him, his robe torn, his arms streaked with blood that was not his own. His hair was loose, black strands falling against his sharp cheekbones. Moonlight painted his face like a god of war. My child shifted in my arms, his small voice breaking the silence. Father! The word echoed, sinking into the night. The prince froze. His golden eyes locked onto the boy. For a heartbeat, he seemed carved from stone, unable to breathe, unable to move. Then, slowly, he dropped to one knee in front of us. His voice trembled, though it tried to stay steady. Say it again. My son looked at him with wide eyes. Innocent. Trusting. Father. The prince closed his eyes, his jaw tight, as if the word pierced through armor he had carried for years. When he opened them again, the fire had softened. He reached out a hand, but paused halfway, unsure. My boy leaned forward, placing his small palm against the alpha's strong hand without hesitation. The world seemed to stop. Tears stung my eyes. I wanted to run, to protect my child from the fate of being tied to a man like him, but I couldn't move. My son had chosen. His blood had called out. The prince rose and his gaze fell on me. You kept him from me. His tone was low, dangerous, but beneath it there was something raw, something wounded. I tightened my grip on my boy. I had no choice. That night, it was not meant to happen. I thought if I disappeared, if I raised him alone, he would be safe. Safe. His voice cracked like a whip. He stepped closer, his presence swallowing the air between us. Safe from me? I shook my head, tears sliding down my cheeks. Safe from the world you belong to. From swords and crowns. From bloodlines and duty. He stopped only an arm's length away, so close I could feel his heat. His eyes softened just slightly. You should have told me. I was afraid. My voice broke. Afraid you would take him away. Afraid you would never want us. Silence stretched, heavy as iron chains. Then his hand lifted, slow, almost hesitant, and brushed my cheek. My body betrayed me, leaning into his touch, remembering that forbidden night, the heat of his mouth, the fire of his scent. His thumb caught my tear. His gaze was burning, unyielding. I wanted you then. I want you now. And I will never let you go again. My heart faltered. My breath hitched. You speak as if it's that simple. It is. His voice was a growl now, hungry, claiming. His hand slid to the back of my neck, pulling me against him. His lips crushed mine, hot and desperate. I gasped, but my body melted, traitorous, into the kiss. Memories flooded back. The courtyard that night, the fire of his touch, the way he had made me lose myself under the moon. My hands clutched his robe, weak but unwilling to let go. The kiss broke only when I was breathless. His forehead rested against mine, his breath ragged. You are mine, he whispered. And he, his hand touched our son's hair gently, reverently, is ours. I trembled, torn between fear and longing. What if your world rejects us? What if your clan refuses? His eyes flashed with steel. Let them try. Anyone who dares will taste my blade. The weight of his vow sank into me. My body burned, my soul ached. I could not deny him, not anymore. He swept me into his arms suddenly, strong and unyielding. My son laughed softly, still nestled between us, as if he knew, as if he had always known. The prince carried us inside, into the quiet chambers lit only by the dim glow of lanterns. He laid me down on the bed of silken sheets, careful yet possessive, his hand never leaving mine. My son, sleepy now, curled beside me, safe between us. For the first time in years, I felt warmth. A family. When the boy finally drifted into sleep, the prince's gaze returned to me. It was fire and storm and hunger all at once. I swallowed hard. We shouldn't, he's here. I can wait, he said softly, though his eyes betrayed how much he burned. He leaned down, lips brushing mine in a whisper of a kiss. But know this, our bond is sealed. You will never run again. His arms wrapped around both me and our child, holding us as if to guard us from the entire world. And under the watchful moon of the wuxia night, for the first time, I believed him.